It's 12 o'clock. I am Benjamin Akapo, and this is Joy News Today. Now, coming up, presidents are human and make mistakes. That is President Akufo-Addo's explanation for his comments about his government never promising to build a harbour in Cape Coast. We go live on the ground as he begins his Greater Accra regional tour today. Also coming up in this news hour this afternoon, another mysterious death in Kumasi. Police investigate the death of 3-year-old Stephen Echampon, whose body was found in a private vehicle inside the premises of the St. Peter's Cathedral Basilica at Roman Hill in Kumasi. Dancehall artist Charles Ni Ama, known popularly as Shatta Wale, has been remanded for another week after appearing in court this morning over his hoax of a shooting incident. We're live at the court as fans demand his release. All of these stories are coming your way in this hour. This is Joy News Today. Well, thank you for staying on Joy News Today. Now, this afternoon, musician Shatta Wale is before an Accra Circuit Court over his alleged hoax of a shooting incident. He was arrested 2 days ago on charges related to the publication of false information. Of course, it has emerged that the shooting incident he was alleged to have been involved in was a prank, but will his brand suffer or benefit from this incident? We have some responses from the experts for you. First, though, let's go to the ground and speak to Joy News' Mapito Sibidi, who's been following this story. Now, Mapito, thank you for joining the conversation. Bring us up to speed on events from the court so far.
All right, thank you very much, Benjamin. I'm here at the Accra Circuit Court, and what we know so far is that Shatta Wale has been charged with publication of false news, and he pleaded not guilty. The 3 others, namely Kojo Idrisu, Yusuf Idrisu, also said pleaded not guilty, and they were charged with abatement of crime. He's been remanded for another week, and also the next court sitting will be on the 28th of October.
So we also hear that some of his fans were calling for his release. But what information have you gathered in respect of that? We know he's been kept for another week. What has the police been saying?
All right, so I tried to speak to the lawyer. He refused to speak. He said legally and practically he cannot speak until he speaks to his client, Shatta Wale. So he didn't want to give us any information. He said unless we'll find the next information on the 28th of October, which is the next sitting. In regards to the fans were very excited to see Shatta Wale, and they were chanting "Free Shatta Wale." Even if you go to Twitter right now, hashtag Free Shatta Wale is trending at #1. His fans, his supporters, observers, family and friends are calling for his release.
Well, Mapito, thank you for bringing us up to speed with the latest from the court. That is Mapito Sibidi. On PM Express last night, Showbiz A to Z on Joy FM. George Quay and head of communications at Shatta's rival Stonebwoy's Burnerton Music Group, Kwame Beko. And this is some of what they had to share.
It is genius. I mean, we may look at it negatively because naturally there are negative effects. Yeah. Like it or yes, it may be deception of a sort and all that, but it's showbiz. I was talking about Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake at the time had a look. I think people called them
was about
Hollywood's finest couple.
2002,
2003 thereabouts. They called them the finest couple. I think it was Justin and Britney Spears, was it?
Yeah.
And they had a relationship, and they had just had a fallout. Then the gentleman released Crimea River. And when you look at the video of Crimea River, he used a lady that looked just like Britney. And the story, the lyrics and the song all pointed to the direction of infidelity, stirring up some controversy that made people start to ask, why? Did she cheat on him? How did they do it? What happened? And all that. And guess what? The song went ahead to win him a Grammy. So what are we talking about? In showbiz, if they're not talking about you, that is when you're doing something wrong. Let's not kid ourselves. I am not endorsing Shatta Wale's style.
But yeah, Kwame has an interjection. Kwame has an interjection. Kwame.
George, I think on your position, we would have to agree to disagree, because you just explained Justin Timberlake's situation, and in my estimates, that's pure genius. taking advantage of a real-life situation that these two principal characters were involved, and then transpose it into art and to get to the height of winning a Grammy.
So those were some of the music industry's key figures sharing their thoughts on the matter. Let's quickly move on now to other related matters. And youth from communities in the Amansie South district of the Ashanti region have stormed the premises of Asanko Mines to petition the company over social responsibility fund, employment and other issues of concern. According to the youth, the company promised to fund corporate social responsibility projects across the communities, but failed to honor those promises. They also claim the mining company has not fulfilled its commitment to employ 60% of the youth and construct major roads in the area. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
Asanko mfa sika no nya adwuma mayania. Asanko se on fa sika no maye. Wali. Onham. Hweya kwan a efiri anwan kwanta beduru ha. Enka ne be 1 hour 30 minutes ni aduru Kumasi. And 4 hours yentimi nduru Kumasi.
The residents took their concerns to the premises of Asanko Mines. According to them, 4 years have passed since Asanko Mines broke its pledge. Peter Awere is the youth leader of the communities.
The agreement was to give us $2 per ounce. Asanko started operation in 2017. The agreement was signed and sealed in 2017. But up to now that we are talking, we have not received not even a password from Asanko Gold Mines. Due to this, we sent our petition to Kumasi High Court, quoting ruled in favor of the community that Asanko people to release the money into our accounts, and the signatories, it should be represented by them. One from the 23 communities, one from the assembly, one from the Asanko, and one from Nanano. The court or the judge went ahead to state that it's almost 3 months now since we went to court. As I'm talking to you right now, we don't even know the whereabouts of the money. So right now, what we are doing, that we are showing our displeasure on our Asanko Gold. For them to give us the money that is belonging to the communities, the 23 communities that is in the catchment area. And we are giving them the 3 weeks ultimatum because we need the money for our development. As you are talking, looking at the contract, we have the employment contract. That they have to give 60% of employment to the local people. They are not doing that. Secondly, they have to reshape our roads every 3 months, even though at least every quarter of the year, let's say 4 months, and they are not doing it. Even those who are working here are not permanent. All of them are casual workers. Their service of condition is not good at all.
The youth also say the company has denied them opportunity to visit their farms, leaving them financially stranded.
Your family, Pablo Francis. Media say, no say at the down. Almost say at the idea biaba, who call for ma, so the Nichiwa no abo. Assassin Amirano, Omudiashi was when ye, almost in Kuala Yasunaya Bibini, Oka, Oba near Bacho, near Abo, near Sewu Niama, Wofuna Dawa, near Anbasa, almost Muntiasi Bia Mobia.
The disgruntled youth petitioned the mining company to have their concerns addressed. Head of Security, Health and Safety at Asanko Mines, Nana Amwako, says management will look into their concerns and respond.
My name is Nana Amwako. I'm the head of Security, Health and Safety. So what I want to say is that I'm standing in for the general manager. I've received the petition and we are going to discuss it, and effectively we will reply them accordingly and timelessly. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, District Chief Executive for Amansie South District, Clement Opoku Jemfi, who also received a petition from the youth, promised to direct their concerns to the Ashanti Regional Minister.
I received a petition. I'll forward it to the Regional Minister's office, and the next step I'll let you guys know. That's what I can do, to forward it to the Regional Minister, let him know that this is what is happening. Right. I've already informed him about the current happening here, the demonstration. So forwarding the document to him will be just to officially inform him. So he got to know, and he being a man of wisdom, I know what steps he will take will be to mitigate the
A
situation.
report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
From Amansia South, let's get into Kumasi, where police are investigating circumstances surrounding the death of a 3-year-old boy whose body was found in a private vehicle in the premises of the St. Peter's Cathedral Basilica at Roman Hill in Kumasi. Eyewitnesses say Stephen Echampon, pupil of the St. Peter's Daycare Center, was found in a Toyota Corolla vehicle, half naked. A member of the search team that went in search of the boy late afternoon on Tuesday tells Love News the lack of clothes and footwear when he was found in the car raises eyebrows. Erastus Asaridonko joins us via the phone lines for an update. He joins us via Zoom, actually. Erastus, this is very akin to an incident that we saw recently in Alajo, where 2 boys were also found trapped in a vehicle. What more can you tell us about this particular incident?
So this is what we know for now, that late afternoon on Tuesday, when school had closed, Stephen Echampon, who is 3 years, had his mother coming over to pick him up, but he was nowhere to be found. So a search party was formed, and they combed in and around the St. Peter's Basilica, Fanti New Town, Kejitia, Doom, searching for the boy to no avail. So about 3 hours of search, then this woman who trades inside a Doom but parked his vehicle, a Toyota Corolla, a white vehicle with registration number GE760020, came in and said she's found the boy at the back seat of his vehicle. And so the eyewitness tells us that they went in, and when they got in, yes, the boy was in there. He was lifeless, and there was a little blood coming in from the nose. His mouth was also foaming. And when they searched, he was half naked. He was not wearing his short, and his footwear has also been removed. And so that was the point where they called in the police to come in. The vehicle was towed to the Zongo police station, where investigation began. The owner of the vehicle, Teresa Mensah, has been invited by the police. The headmistress of the St. Peter's Daycare has also been invited to assist in investigations.
So is it because of what you mentioned, the boy foaming at the mouth, his sandals or shoes not being found, and the blood? Is that the reason the family is suspecting foul play?
Well, so this is not a family, but a member of the search party that went in search of the boy is the one who is raising this concerns that finally when they found him, he was without his shorts, and his footwear was also not with him. It wasn't found in the car as well. And that is what is raising suspicions about foul play, whether he was killed and dumped in the vehicle, or he removed his own shorts and footwear before coming inside the vehicle. Those are questions that investigations could answer.
So for now, the owner of the vehicle is still in the custody of the police, answering those questions as investigations unfold. So we don't know what the response of this person is.
Well, per our checks with the police, we have not been told that the 2 have been arrested. The indication we get is that they've been invited, I think, on 2 occasions. That's the headmistress of the school and the owner of the vehicle were invited by the Zongo police, but they have been in custody. We do understand the headmistress was detained for some hours on Tuesday and allowed to go. I've been trying to get that information from the police as to whether they have been arrested, but I'm yet to get any response.
What has been the response of the members of that community and even of that school? I mean, parents whose children attend that school. How have they been reacting, Erastus?
In fact, when we got to the school, school was in session. It was a normal class activity. In fact, what we saw differently was the security person on duty who has been tasked with extra duties to ward off the children from coming onto the car park. You know, if you know the St. Peter's Basilica, the school is a bit farther away, about 100 meters from the main car park where the vehicles park.
Right.
So that was what we saw. But there is no reaction except the students who know vividly what happened and are a bit scared, about what really killed the boy and whether they are all safe in the school there.
Well, Erastus, thank you very much for bringing us up to speed. I'm sure in the coming days we'll get to know what exactly the police will bring forth on this matter. But from there, let's move on to talk about politics and accountability. Presidents are human and make mistakes. That's according to President Akufo-Addo, who says his comments about his government never promising to build a harbour in Cape Coast, he has been saying that it was a mistake, what he said in a Cape Coast interview, denying that government was going to construct a harbour in Cape Coast. He said he had not probed further into the manifesto. He therefore apologized to the chiefs and people of the Central. Well, our own Elton Brobe, who has actually been on tour with the president, he's been traveling with him. He joins us via Zoom, and he'll be bringing us some updates as the president has toured the Greater Accra region. Elton, so what exactly has the president been saying on this first day of his tour in the Greater Accra region?
Right, so if I can start from the Peace FM interview,
right,
where he spoke about the harbour in the central regional capital of Cape Coast, and according to him, it was a mistake. To quote him exactly, he said it was a mistake, and he apologized to the people of Cape Coast and the central region for the comments that he never promised to build a harbour, which in fact is contained in the MPP's 2020 manifesto, and even was given voice by the Vice President at the launch of that manifesto in the central regional capital of Cape Coast. So he apologized to the people of the central region, but also referred to the fact that if there is harbour at Takoradi in the western region, there's another one at Elmina. Another harbour in Cape Coast will be something that will require further consideration, because he doesn't feel that it is right to cite another harbour at Cape Coast, but that is a matter that they will have to discuss. On the regional issue of the anti-LGBT plus bill, which is a private member's motion currently in Parliament, awaiting second reading and possible approval of the principles of the bill. He was asked about his position on the anti-LGBT bill. He was not categorical as to whether he's against it or he supports it, but he said that it is a matter in Parliament. It's a motion that was filed through a private member's motion. It is going through the processes in Parliament, and so he will wait to see the outcome of Parliament's consideration on this particular bill, its implications on the Constitution, but he rather asks that we tolerate all views that have come up as far as the bill is concerned, and at the end of the day, the will of the MPs, as they represent the people, will be the one that obviously will be the one that they will work with as a government. So clearly saying that we will have to wait till Parliament gives its approval or otherwise before you can make any comment on it. There's also another issue about who will succeed him in 2024. You know, we've heard names, but officially we are yet to be told who is up there saying that he wants to succeed President Akufo-Addo. We heard about the Vice President, we heard about the Trade Minister like Shamantian, former Energy Minister Boache Jacob. He was asked whether he is aware of ongoing internal politics to succeed him. He said he is unaware, but he will not hesitate to come hard on anyone who will deviate from the government agenda in the pursuit of his own private gains. But he is clear that the unity of the very much important, and for that reason, whatever happens internally should be such that the party will come out stronger, and whoever is elected at that delegates congress in 2 years' time will have the mandate of the people to lead in 2024 and possibly lead the government in 2025. Currently, we've just left Abuburuchi, where he went to inspect the reclaimed land, and we are now at Ajin Kotoku, again, where Zoom Lion has put up a compost recycling plant. This is the second phase. My information is that this recycling plant, second phase, has the capacity to recycle 1,000 tons of waste every day. Now, they are saying that they are not just recycling, but they are putting some of the waste into manual for agricultural purposes. The president has yet to get here, and then the event itself will start. And from here, we'll go to Adenta, where it's expected to inspect some ongoing roles, and then we'll end the tour with another inspection of the compost plant at home at Amaso here in the Greater Accra region.
Elton, thank you for bringing us the latest on that development as the president tours the Greater Accra region. Elton Brobe, my colleague, has been touring the Greater Accra region with the president. Now, staying with the president, Akufo-Addo, he has fired back at critics who claim his government has abandoned the E-Block projects initiated under the erstwhile John Mahama administration. Parliament approved a $1.5 billion facility for the completion of critical educational infrastructure, including the E-Block projects. But during a tour of some educational projects in the Volta region by the minority, the paramount chief of the Aflao traditional area, Togbi Ajonugaga Amenya Fiti, said the construction of the Aflao Community Day School with 26 classrooms and 5 departments, including a science block, has stalled since 2016.
After senior high education, primary to the senior high education, the next degree that my people have to do is to go to border and go and do what? Kayayo. No school. The only school that we have again is the RC Senior High School that belongs to the Catholic Mission. It's now what? A minor seminary. So this thick population have no place to go. And people sit down in that big hall called Parliament without thinking of Aflao, a place after the Tema Harbour, the next revenue generation is from Aflao border. It's from Aflao border. And I have to push the former President Mahama for that structure to be what? Constructed over there. I have to be running from here to Accra, begging. Should we beg for education? No. Then something's happening. If we have to beg for education before our what? People can go to school, then I don't know what is called a democracy at all. And look at the structure standing over there. 90% finished. 100%. Yes. Now the teams are having their full days again, going there, removing everything at will. Now, in the era of the MPP now, we have the free senior high education. And my people are not benefiting because the school is not here. I'm sure by next year, February, school, new entrants will go to school. So your coming here is a redemption to the suffering people of Aflao. It's a redemption, really, to the suffering people of Aflao. I carry this message to the Minister of Education that come February, I want this school to be open. Yes, February. First batch.
Still on that same matter, Dr. Clement Apak, who is the ranking member on Parliament's Education Committee, also spoke on the situation during a tour of the Volta region.
We have enough. I mean, you can imagine. It has now become a farm, abandoned. People are harvesting. You see, they say snakes, bandicoots, grass cutters, and you can see public resources wasted. And students are waiting to go to school. Our schools are overcrowded. Classrooms are overcrowded.
Yeah, so far, would you say this is the worst you've seen on this trip?
Well, it is only the worst because if you look at the magnitude of work and the physical environment, it's very depressing because tiling has been done, electricals have been fixed, plans were definitely in place to work on fixtures like windows and doors. And it has been abandoned. And we are being told that the last time a contractor showed up here was 3 years ago. And it is very clear, it's evident. Is that the best way to use public resources? Don't Ghanaians deserve better? Are we not punishing the future of this nation? Is it okay for us to have overcrowded schools when we have schools that can take in excess of 1,000 students each? Each of the E-blocks can take in excess of 1,000 Ghana students. Imagine the pressure that would take off in terms of the current available educational infrastructure, struggling to contain 1.2 million students. And what does the GET Fund securitized 1.5 billion being used for? How many critical educational infrastructural projects have been completed? How many new ones have been initiated? How much of the monies have been used? Is it the case that the state needs more money? And if so, shouldn't there be accountability for us to know?
And so that was Dr. Clement Apak, who is on the Education Committee of Parliament. But speaking on Peace FM's Kokroko show this morning, the president said many of the projects are being completed.
We came in. Today it's 61%. I mean, there's several such examples, which shows you that the allegation that we have abandoned the road projects that we came to a head is difficult.
How about the E-blocks?
Many of them. I think I'll find an opportunity to tell you that many of them are being worked on across the country.
Let me just take one, Mr. President. The one in Aflao where the chief himself has complained. Aflao Pacha say E-block no oba yenya hoshi. On my education minister up to February say ombe yehu bibi. It's an
minister ultimatum.
So abre.
And onko ye.
Wabre. Inti obisa no there every out of frustration ebi okasa.
Many bi wo ho when bia so no ye boabo ye ho ni aye. As much as possible. I've given you these examples to let you see that on the contrary, despite the propaganda, because one of the things that I suspect there's a deficit on our part is our ability to counter the propaganda. The propaganda takes over the reality of so many aspects of our national life. It's a pity, but we'll continue.
Is it not because you have a weak communications team?
I don't want to think of it. I think
you've been accused of that. Say yes. MPP more communication, you're poor, you're weak. You're doing good, but nobody's hearing about it.
But people are feeling it. The people in the various areas of life are feeling it, are responding to it.
Would you improve on your communications team?
What aspect of national life can you not improve? What aspect of political engagement can you not improve? You can improve it. But at the same time, too, virulent propaganda has its own power. And that is the phenomenon that my government has been facing.
And that was Mr. President reacting to that specific matter. Let's take a bit of a breather. We return shortly.
Good afternoon, time for business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Government has entered into an agreement with international technology firm Google to have the country's GPS address in its mapping system. The agreement was reached after a technical evaluation by Google to certify Ghana's addressing system. Vice President of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, disclosed this during a keynote speech at the ongoing Youth Connect Summit in Accra.
And this is a first. We've engaged Google since last year, and we have now obtained their agreement because they had to go through the technical processes to evaluate our digital address system. So by the end of this year, Google has agreed for us to integrate our digital address system into Google Maps so that people can use them here in Ghana. We moved from there to address the problem of the fact that so many people, including a lot of the youth, did not have bank accounts, and therefore they are excluded from the financial system. Even though they did not have bank accounts, most of the youth have mobile phones. In fact, we have more mobile phones in Ghana than the population of Ghana, because people have 2 and 3 mobile phones. So we ask the question, can't we find a way where we can integrate the mobile phone in terms of mobile money with the bank accounts so that they are interoperable, so that your mobile phone can act as your bank account? And if we are able to do so, then we will solve that problem of only 30% of our people having access to financial services.
In other news, management of Agri Development Bank, ADB, has handed over to Ghanaian Foods Juice Manufacturing Company Ekunfi tractors and other machinery to support the expansion drive and operations of the factory. The new board and management of ADB paid a working visit to the Ekunfi Foods and Juices Limited in the central region to get first-hand information on the usage of funds extended to the facility. Richard Kojunyako was there for Joy Business.
The company and the government flagship One District One factory is cultivating over 5,000 acres of pineapple plantation to enable them expand their production capacity. Currently, the factory's production capacity is about 10 tons of pineapple per hour. Handing over the equipment to the company, the managing director of the Agricultural Development Bank, Dr. John Kofi Mensah, commended them for their exploit and resilience in the agro-processing sector. He said the Agri Development Bank will continue to support such investments.
We believe in sustaining these projects. Most of these projects import concentrates from outside the country. So we deem it fit that we should finance outgrower and in-grower schemes to support these factories. And one key importance of this venture, which is being pushed by the bank and our agribusiness division is keen on it, is that it creates jobs for locations that these outgrower and in-grower schemes are. It raises the standard of living of the population. It is also cushioning us from spending hard cash, foreign currency, in the importation of concentrates.
Board chairman and the Omahine of the Kwu traditional area, Tasibre Kwamwe Japan II, indicated the visit by the new board of directors of ADB is part of their commitment to get first-hand information on how loans disbursed to companies are being used and to further strengthen their relationships with their cherished customers. He disclosed the bank has so far disbursed in excess of over 100 million Ghana cedis to 17 companies under the 1D1F initiative in the areas of agro-processing, aquaculture and poultry.
We have identified the outgrower scheme as a reliable way of supporting our industries with raw materials under the government's 1D1F as a One District One factory, and also creating jobs in our local communities to help curb the rural-urban migration menace. ADB has so far disbursed in excess of over 100 million Ghana cedis to 17 companies under the One District One Factory initiative.
Operations manager of the Ekunfi Fruit and Juices Factory, Frederick Kwabna Akwa, intimated how supportive ADB has been to Ekunfi Fruit and Juices Factory.
And looking at our capacity and the level of acceptability in the country, generally, we needed to step up production. So ADB came in handy, gave us the support that we need to develop this outgrower, in-grower, shared grower schemes that we are applying here. Why we're doing this is that our capacity is to do, our capacity at the factory, our processing capacity is about 10 tons per hour. We are talking about 100,000 fruits in an hour.
The management of Eku Juice announced 2 new products that would be introduced in the first quarter of 2020, the Pine Shandy and the Cape Beer. Reporting for Joy News,
All right, and here's what's coming ahead later in the day. Joy Business Social, our weekly online engagement. Tonight we'll be discussing the jobs crisis and whether every graduate can become an entrepreneur. It's going to be with Sheriff Gali, who is CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, and Dr. Williams Pepra, who is Chief Finance Officer at the Valley View University. That's coming up tonight at 6 across our social media platforms. Up next is sports.
Time now to share with you some sports stories on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Ghana's Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has urged the Confederation of African Football to strengthen their inter-club competitions to make it financially rewarding for clubs on the continent. Speaking at a meeting with the CAF President, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, Bawumia said the CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup should be prioritized. For Motsepe, he said there must be an investment in football to ensure that every sector benefits from the development of football. The CAF president is in the country on a 2-day working visit and paid a courtesy call on the vice president of the country, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Interacting with the vice president, Patrice Motsepe said Ghana would have qualified to the semi-final of the FIFA World Cup in 2010 if there was a video assistant referee.
If in 2010 there was VAR, Ghana would have gone very, very far.
Yes,
and we believe that we could have made history. Yes. Because Ghana was not just playing for the people of Ghana. It was playing for 1.3 billion. I'd never seen so many young boys in the townships wearing the jersey because it was the hope and inspiration.
It was.
So we know that with the support of football and supporting my brother Kurt and his leadership, the national team of Ghana, the club football, as well as the unique role that football plays amongst our young boys and young girls in terms of inspiration. There's so much more we can do together. Sure. So we'll be engaging with the private sector as well. I mean, the CEO of MTN is a very, very, very close friend of mine. So we do want the private sector to support, because President, without funding, without finances, in this new environment, there's very little we can do.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia charged the continent's football governing body to improve their inter-club competitions to ensure they are financially rewarding.
One of the things I would like to see, because the African Inter-Club Championship, for the clubs, is not very financially rewarding, and they are very, what we'd like to see it strengthen a bit and see how we can bring about some financial benefits from participation, because the clubs are generally weak anyway financially. So I think it will be very, very nice. But generally speaking, I think CAF has done well. If you look at the finals, the African Cup of Nations, we started with 8 countries going, and we moved to 12, moved to 16, now we are at 24. I mean, this is really very good, because, as you know, our continent is football crazy. So having, 24 teams there, we all feel we are, better positioned to win, So everybody is trying to do that, and we're very, very happy.
The CAF Champions League has a prize money of $2 million. From the CAF president, let's hear from the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okreku, who has urged referees to trust in his vision for football in the country. Addressing the referees ahead of the new season, which starts next week, Kurt said though they might hold a varied opinion on how football should be managed in the country, it is his vision that drives football in Ghana.
I'm always involved, and he knows about this. I say to everybody that we all have one vision, a vision to excel in our niche part of the football ecosystem. But we all have different ways of arriving at our vision. So you may not agree with me on how I want to arrive. I may not necessarily agree with you on how you want to arrive. But ultimately, I expect all of us to arrive. So there are some of you who don't understand and don't agree with what we do. Your RAC chairman is here. He always call, President, this is me, I don't agree with you. We will talk and discuss, and then we'll leave it. It's only because we are human. But all of us believe in the vision to excel, the vision to take refereeing to an international level, the vision to produce the very best performance when we speak about refereeing on the African continent. It's the vision, it's the end goal. So we may differ on how we want to arrive at the destination, but eventually I want all of us to believe in the vision. Let's have our disagreements on how we want to arrive. It's okay, because we are human. But at the end, all of you here must believe in my vision. That's why we belong to this family. It's my vision that is carrying all of us.
His vision is carrying all of us, but CAF President's vision is carrying African football, and he's currently addressing the media at the Ghana Football Association Secretariat. We're sharing details with you on sports today at 2 p.m. We do have more sports stories to share with you on myjoyonline.com. I am Muftau Nabila Abla. The news continues.
And that's how we draw the curtains on this hour-long bulletin. You can go to myjoyonline.com for more news right there, myjoyonline.com. And some of the latest news you will find there, the president touring the Greater Accra region and some of what he's been saying. That is how we wrap up. My name is Benjamin Akakbu. Thank you for staying.